We all have the occasional awkward moment, but fortunately, most of us don't have to worry about anyone broadcasting them internationally. Olympic gymnasts aren't always so lucky. These awkward moments are a great reminder that even the most impressive athletes aren't really that different from us. Olga Korbut was a 17-year-old Soviet gymnast when she became famous for her performance at the 1972 Munich Games. The young gymnast impressed the entire world with her routines at the beginning of the competition. She was the first gymnast to do a backflip on the uneven bars, a daring move which was later coined the Korbut flip. Recalling the games later, Korbut said, according to her website, "It was amazing. One day I was a nobody and the next day I was a star." After catching everyone's attention at the beginning of the games, it was all the more shocking when she later had a disastrous performance on the uneven bars. She made 3 significant mistakes throughout the routine, dropping her to 7th place. The most blatant of these errors was the awkward start. Instead of pulling herself off the ground and starting the routine as she meant to, Korbut's feet hung too low and skidded against the mat. The embarrassing mistake seemed to throw off the rest of her routine. Speaking about the moment decades later to BBC, Korbut revealed she was as surprised by her mistake as the audience was.
I didn't feel anything because I was shocked.
But in a strange turn of events, the error made Korbut an even larger sensation. When the camera caught the young girl in tears, it endeared her to viewers around the world. Savannah Vinsant was on Team USA for the 2012 Olympic Games, where she competed on the trampoline. Vinsant has been doing trampoline routines since she was a young girl. During an interview with USA Gymnastics, she recalled, "I was 6 years old and I joined a competitive gym that was involved with power tumbling and trampoline. Since day one, I was hooked on trampoline." While the word trampoline may have you thinking of kids playing in the backyard, it means a lot more in gymnastics. These athletes perform fantastic acrobatics high in the air using the trampoline as a springboard. Despite these impressive feats, Vinsant became most well known for the awkward faces she made during her routine. It's not surprising that Vinsant didn't have time to think about the faces she was making while she was twisting in the air. However, a few snapshots of her awkward trampoline face became a bit of a meme after the competition. Fortunately, Vinsant had a lot more to be proud of than any embarrassment that might have caused. At 19, she was the youngest trampoline competitor that year, the first American to ever qualify for the trampoline finals, and she finished 6th place in women's trampoline. During the 2012 London Olympic Games, McKayla Maroney was the favorite to win vault. Before she competed, her coach seemed to be entirely confident in Maroney's ability to take gold. However, Maroney had a disappointing performance during the women's vault final. While her first vault was as close to perfect as everyone expected from her, the second left her dismayed. Maroney fell to a sitting position instead of sticking the landing, dropping her to 2nd place in the competition. The unexpected fall was awkward enough, but Maroney was also caught on camera during the medal ceremony making an unimpressed face. Maroney later told Inside Gymnastics magazine that the face didn't mean anything, saying, "If you watch the video, it's 2 seconds, and I remember thinking, did I just make a face? Because it's natural, I do it all the time." But that didn't stop the internet from making the small moment into a meme. It became so well known that Maroney even posed with Barack Obama later on, both of them pulling the iconic face. She told USA Today, "The whole world pretty much got obsessed with it. Every single day I get asked by people to do the face, so I'm bringing it along with me now for the rest of my life." During the 1996 Olympics, Team USA and the Russians were battling it out for first place in gymnastics. As they reached the final competition, vault, the US had a slight lead. But after lackluster vaults from the other US gymnasts, including the youngest Dominique Moceanu, falling on both attempts, that lead was slipping away. The pressure was on Kerri Strug to get her team the gold. On her first vault, Strug landed badly, injuring her ankle. Strug was in incredible pain, but knew she had to vault again for her team to win. Showing remarkable determination, the US gymnast completed the second vault on her injured leg. The famous image of her hopping is after she stuck the landing despite her injury and before she collapsed to the ground in pain. This defining moment gave Team USA their first gold medal in the team all-around. Strug stood on the podium with her leg in a cast and still in obvious pain as they accepted the historic win. Recalling the triumph, Strug told Elle, "I'll remember the moment on the podium forever. I definitely had some contrasting emotions. I thought I was going to look like Mary Lou Retton, and instead I'm crying. I have no pants on." It's never comfortable to get emotional in front of a crowd. Unfortunately for Viktoria Komova, she had the embarrassing experience of having the world witness her televised reaction when she realized she came in second to Team USA's Gabby Douglas. During the 2012 London Games, Komova, a Russian gymnast, and Douglas were two of the top competitors. Komova gave an impressive floor routine, hoping to score higher than her competitor, but when her scores were announced, putting her just behind Douglas, the 17-year-old gymnast couldn't contain her devastation. The cameras caught Komova crying bitterly as her teammate and coach tried to comfort her. The distraught gymnast couldn't even stand to keep the silver medal on. She took it off quickly after dismounting the podium, reportedly because it was too heavy. When asked about her feelings, Komova made no secret of her disappointment, telling Reuters, "I'm still upset because I could have won gold, but I just did not get it. When I entered the arena, I thought I would win gold." After the tough loss, Komova planned to compete in the 2016 Rio Games, but sadly that plan changed when severe back pain made it impossible. During the Rio Games, Great Britain's Elissa Downie ended up in an uncomfortable position on the floor after landing wrong after a somersault. This was the 17-year-old athlete's first time at the Olympics, and she'd already completed the bar and beam without trouble. Things took a turn for the worse during her floor routine. She didn't rotate far enough for one trick and landed awkwardly on her head and neck. The crowd gasped audibly, and photos of her ungraceful landing circulated the internet soon after. Just as shocked as the crowd was Downie's sister and teammate Rebecca Downie, who told USA Today, "It was pretty scary, and I've never really seen her do that. If she does it like that, she manages to at least get over and land on her back. So it was a bit of a shock to the system, and I'm just really glad she's okay." Downie bravely tried to power through the rest of the routine, but eventually had to stop. According to the Mirror, Downie said she felt a crunch when she landed and realized she was too dizzy to attempt her final tumble. She told USA Today that she felt dazed, explaining, "I think it's more of just a panic thing initially. You just panic, you think the worst." However, after leaving and getting a checkup, Downie returned for the final portion of the day. She came back to compete on vault and landed both attempts nicely despite her prior injury. Competing in the last portion helped put Great Britain in third place going into the finals. Gabby Douglas won big at 2012's London Olympic Games. Not only did she help secure first place for Team USA, but she also won the individual all-around. These victories broke impressive records, making Douglas the first American gymnast to win gold for both team and individual competitions in the same games. She was also the first woman of color from any nationality to become the individual all-around champion. After her big win, Douglas told the Washington Post, "You just have to not be afraid and go out there and just dominate. You have to go out there and be a beast, because if you don't, you're not going to be on the top." So it's no wonder that everyone thinks of Douglas as the champion she is, but that doesn't mean she hasn't had a few awkward mistakes in her illustrious career. One of these mistakes was during the same 2012 Games while on the balance beam. Douglas was shaky at the start of her balance beam routine, checking her balance a few times. Towards the middle of the routine, she slipped on a landing, leading her to fall from the beam. She hung awkwardly with one leg and her hands on the beam before getting up and starting the routine again. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite Olympic athletes are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.